Hi, good morning everybody. We've got a great craft today. I am really excited about this because I love paint and it is called fork painting. So today what you're going to need to do is if you have just a white sheet of paper, and you can do more than one, so more than one white sheets of paper, you can try your hand at more than one painting and it's going to be a lot of fun. I also have some paints set out, a couple of different colors, and some forks. That's what we're going to paint with instead of a brush. That's going to be great. If we add some details to our paintings later, I have some paper scraps, some white and lots of different colors, and we might cut out some things to add some detail to our painting, and then a little bit of glue stick to glue those details onto it. Let's see now. So I'm going to get started. Oh, you know what? Paper plate. I found that my forks were kind of too big for my little paint dish. And also paper plates are really good for mixing. You can use just a regular plate too because it will wash off. But I have a paper plate today. And of course, always, always, always when you have paper paint, I have some cleanup, some paper towel right available. So that's what we're going to use today. And let's get started with our sheet of paper. And I'm going to change the camera to so you can see what I'm doing on the table. There we go. There's my paints. There's my paper plate. There is my workspace. Okay, so what am I going to paint? Well, I thought just to get used to painting with a fork, what we should do today is take a fork and pick a color of paint and do something just random, some sort of just random design, and see how the paint prints onto the paper from your fork. So I'm going to choose, I think I'm going to do red. I like red, and I'm going to stick my fork in there and then print it onto my paper, and let's see what comes up when I do. So I rock it back and forth. Oh, cool, look at that. And so I got red, 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 red. And you know, I forgot to tell you that I actually have, oh, that kind of smeared. I had a lot of paint on that one. But then I do it again. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to just do some random marks with my fork. And I forgot to tell you that I have a fork for each color. That's an easy way to do it. Or you can wipe off your fork with a piece of paper towel if you only have one or two forks. I'm going to do yellow now. And I'm just dabbing it around to see what happens. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So I'm just getting used to how my fork works. So now I have a yellow fork, and I think I'll do a green fork. These are just craft paints. Sometimes we call them tempera paints. And I'm going to get a little bit more green on there, and I'm going to rock it. That's another rocket. There we go. Ooh, some lines. I wonder if I could actually make some. There. Oh, that turned out kind of cool. Anyway, so let's see. Just testing out my colors, testing out all my forks. Black, 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 black. Oh, and I can do that too. Look at that. You can take your fork and you can draw it around to make lines, and you can draw it through your other pages. There's lots of things you can do with the fork. It's amazing. When you think, well, I don't have a brush, but I got a fork. Let's see what happens. So press and squiggle, I think. And then if you only have one or two forks, again, just wipe it off with a paper towel and do another color. So what if I want orange? What I can do is take a little red and stick it on my paper plate. Whoops, come on. Paint those. I can't scoop paint with a fork too well. And then, you know, there we go, a little bit of yellow. And so if I wanted to mix it around, okay, now I've got orange, sort of. Yeah, and so I can put some orange on there. So there's my first page, and I'm mixing it around. Ooh, I like the way that looks. So that's just a random thing that you can do. It's a great fork collage. And I'm going to change my paper and do another blank one. And so now I'm going to actually try to make something with my paper. I think what I want to do is maybe make a bear. What do you think? You think I can make a bear with a fork painting? Anyway, so I thought I would try to make a bear. So Michigan has black bears, so maybe I'll just make a black bear head. And so I am going to make, and it has lots of fur. So here is my maybe head of a bear. Let's try this. So you can keep changing your paper if you don't like what you're doing. You can do something else with another sheet of paper. But I'm working on a bear head right now. Let's see. Well, is it starting to look like a bear head? I don't know. Maybe I need some more black paint. So, is it looking furry? Maybe. Well, he needs more down here. Big black bear head. Am I getting there? Well, maybe. A little bit more black. And if anybody has some brown paint, that would be good too if you were doing a bear. But you can pick any animal that you would like to do. And, oh, there we go. So that's a big bear head. To me, that looks like a big bear head, but it doesn't have any details. So what I'm going to do is try to put some details on it. Big round bear head. So when I see a bear, or a picture of a bear, I think bear ears. So I'm going to take a little piece of brown, scrap of paper, and I'm going to take my scissors. Where am I? Here we are. Okay, and I'm going to cut an ear. Now, bear ears are kind of round, kind of like a U shape. And cut around, cut around, cut around, and I've got an ear. See? So where am I going to put that ear? Right there, maybe? I need 2 ears, so I'm going to cut another one before I glue them on. Right about the same size. Cut, 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 cut. Whoops. There we go. So I just cut a U shape, and now I have 2 ears. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue stick now. Even though the paint's wet, the paint, my scraps and my details would probably stick to that paint, but after the paint dries, it might fall off. So I'm going to put a little glue on it, a little glue on my ear, and stick it right there. Now the bear has an ear, and now the bear has another ear. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Okay, so put my glue stick back together. And let's see what else. Okay, I'm going to take my fork and do a little bit of the center of the ear so it looks more like an ear. And there we go. Now, my bear doesn't have any eyes yet. What am I going to do for eyes? Well, I think maybe I will take a little bit of yellow, and with my scissors, I am going, whoa, there we go. I am going to cut a circle. Oh, just a little circle. It doesn't have to be very big. In fact, bears' eyes are pretty small compared to their head. But there's a circle. And I'm going to put it on. I got to have another eye. You know, they have 2 ears, 2 eyes. So here's another circle about the same size. I'm just cutting it around my scrap paper, and I have 2 yellow eyes. Whoa, so the bear can look at me. So again, glue stick on your detail, stick it on there, 1 eye. I'm going to stick it on there with 2 eyes. And yeah, he's got some eyes, but he doesn't really look like he's looking at me. So I'm going to add a center to his eye. So this might be a little bit tricky with the fork. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I got some paint on my fork, and I'm going to just kind of draw a center in each eye with one of the edges of my fork. I don't need a brush. There we go. It's starting to look like a bear. Let's see. What does a bear have that this drawing doesn't have? How about a nose? This bear does not have a nose. So animals' noses don't look like people noses, and sometimes when I'm drawing animal noses, I draw a heart shape and then turn it upside down, and it looks like the animal's muzzle. So what I'm going to do is fold my piece of scrap paper in half, and I'm going to cut out a half a heart. Whoops, there we go. Can you see how I'm doing that? I'm cutting out a half a heart. Let's open it up and check it out now. A half a heart. Think that could be the bear's muzzle? I think so. Let's see what happens when I glue my little heart detail onto the bear. Here we go. Like I said, when I draw animals, sometimes I do the muzzle upside down. I think it's too big. Oh my goodness, it's so big. I'm going to cut it shorter. It took over his whole face, so I'm going to cut it smaller. That's what happens when I do things. Sometimes I have to adjust them because it didn't work out like I wanted it to. Okay, then there's still glue on it. Oops, there we go. So now the bear's muzzle looks a lot better. What do you think? Yes? Yeah, cool. So he's got ears, eyes, and a muzzle, and maybe a little bit of bear nostrils. I don't know. And we have a bear. Actually, you know, I almost think it looks like a black pig. I was going for bear, but I think it looks like a black pig. But it's okay because it was kind of fun, and I learned a lot while I was doing it. So there's one animal that we could do. You could think of some others. Let's see what else. Oh, how about a bird? Let's do a bird. So I need another piece of paper, and let's do a bird together. Or you can pick out anything you want. And it's kind of the same idea. This bird that I'm going to do has a really long neck. So first I'm going to do kind of like the round head of the bird with my fork. And I'm going to add lots of colors because bird feathers can be so colorful. But first I'm going to do kind of like the round head with some red. Okay, I'm getting there. And needs more different colors, so I'm going to do some pink. I have some pink paint. And I'm going to add that to the bird's head and the bird's feathers. Pink is cool. And maybe a little bit of yellow with my yellow fork. And again, you can mix colors on your paper plate. Okay, that's looking pretty cool, but it needs a long neck. So that's what I'm going to do next. First I'm going to, because I still have the, maybe this is like Big Bird from Sesame Street. I don't know. But this is a bird with a long neck like an ostrich or a great blue heron, although it's not blue. It's colors, multicolors. Okay, can you see the neck that I'm doing? All right. Forks make it really look like feathers, I think. Feathers and fur are easy to do with forks. Okay, I think that it needs a little bit of red on the neck so it looks more like its head too. There. Okay. So I've got the head and I've got the neck. So now what do I need? I need some details, and I think I need some eyes. So I'm going to go with some scrap paper, and again, I'm going to cut up, well, actually I can cut 2 circles. If I fold it in half, then I can cut 2 circles at the same time. I'm going to do big eyes. Big, 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 big eyes like this, around, and the circles aren't necessarily completely round. It's hard to cut a completely round circle. Look, oh, cool. So crazy eyes, but they are still a little too big. I was kind of overdoing it. I want the eyes to look big, but I don't want them to take over the whole bird head. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit. There. I think that's a better size. So a little bit of glue stick on each one. Dun, da, da, da. Stick them on there. Oh, and I think he needs some eyeballs here. He's got eyeballs, but he needs the center so he can look at us. And again, I'm going to do black. And I'm going to take the edge of my fork and draw a little bit of paint in the center of the bird's eyeballs. Just like that. Oh, wow, cool. Now he's looking at us, right? So what doesn't he have now? Well, birds need beaks, right? So I have a little bit of orange scrap paper right here. And it could be any color, though. It could be yellow like the other piece I used, or if you have red or pink or any color that you like. It doesn't have to be orange. I just happen to have an orange piece. And when I think about a bird beak, I think about triangles. So I'm going to try to cut a triangle out of my, whoops, where am I? There we go. Out of my scrap piece of paper. So one side, triangles have 3 sides, 2 sides. Whoops. It's hard to do it and then make sure it's on camera at the same time. So if you see me kind of shuffling around here, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. So I did. I cut 3 sides off my piece of paper, and I've got a bird beak. So let's see how that looks on my bird. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's going to look great. What do you think? Want to put it right there? Ta-da! So we have a bird. Ooh, it's mushing around in the sloppy paint. But there we go. Pretty cool. So we have a bird. We have a bear. There's other things. So many things that you can do with fork painting. I'm going to put this one down here, and I'm going to get out one last sheet of paper that we can probably do together. I've seen pictures of flowers. So that might be kind of a cool thing to do today. I'm going to turn my page sideways. And I am going to make some pink flowers. Let me see that okay. Yeah, whoops, get this out of the way. I don't think I'm going to need my glue stick this time. So I am going to do some flowers. So I think maybe I'll try some tulips. 1, I'm rocking my fork. 2, now I'm going to put a little tulip over here. Rocking my fork. Okay, well that kind of looks like a tulip, but it doesn't have a stem or anything. So next I am going to put some stems on my tulips. It's kind of like the same way that I did the bear eyes. I'm just going to use the edge of my fork and draw a line. Whoops. Huh, I didn't get enough paint on my fork. Do that again. There we go. Can you kind of see how you can just draw with the edge of your fork a little line under each one of the tulips. And another one. And you can also add a leaf. And add a leaf. And this tulip didn't get a good stem. But a little leaf here and there. And now you've got some tulips. What do you think? Yeah. All right. Here we go. Now let's see. Some flowers are kind of round, like daisies. So I am going to do kind of a sunflower or a sunflower daisy. I don't know what it'll turn out to be. Maybe it'll be a big sunflower. Maybe it'll be a giant daisy. I don't know. So I'm going to go around in a circle with my paint. And I've got lots of yellow paint. So yeah, I think this is going to be a giant sunflower. That'll be fun. Because sunflowers are yellow. I was thinking maybe I'd do a yellow daisy. But I think it's going to look more like a sunflower. And you can draw a little bit as you smear things. Whoa, so I'm going around and around and around and adding more petals to my flower. You see how I'm doing that? Okay. And then sunflowers usually have a black or a brown center. The petals are yellow, but the center is probably black or brown. So I am going to do a little bit of brown right in the middle. I'm going to turn my paper and go like that. I'm doing that to get it all in the middle and get my center all. There we go. Okay, so now that needs a stem too. So I'm going to take and do this down from the middle of my flower. And I think sunflowers have such a big head, they need a big stem. A big stem. So I'm going to sort of paint with my fork. So there's a lot of things you can do. Then a little leaf over there. And maybe over here too. And there you have it. Okay, so you can kind of play around and do whatever you like with a fork and see what happens. And like we did before on our practice sheet, you can do all kinds of smears and mushes and rocks and crossing each other and mixing the paint. Don't forget to use your paper plate to make a lot of different colors too. Oh, that's great.
I want to remind everybody that we are going to do another session, and we're going to be doing Let's Create a Story on Thursday, so I hope you join us for that. We're going to be doing First Step Science on Friday, which is where we're going to learn about scientific tools and do scientific explorations. And then a week from today, next Tuesday, we're going to be doing Get Crafty again. Those are all at 11 a.m. And if you want to register for any of those, you just go to www.greatlakeskids.org/news and events, and we'll have all the links up there. Again, if you can support this type of programming, we invite you to go to www.greatlakeskids.org/donate, and that helps us keep the doors open when fewer people are coming through the museum. So anything you can help us out with is always appreciated. And again, we just want to thank you and invite you to join us next time. And we're happy to see you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. My bear says goodbye.